ultimate guide for writing a remarkable letter of continued interest. We all prepare plenty of various assignments regularly. Some of them are simple and ordinary, while others require time and effort. Future students need to complete tons of papers, and surely they always search for some useful tips. They wonder how to create a remarkable admission essay. Think about what personality traits and achievements they need to mention in their works in order to excel other applicants. But, there are some types of papers that make students feel confused. The majority of young people don't know how to prepare letters of continued interest. They assume that a sample letter of continued interest can help them complete the task. Surely, there are many examples available online. But, most students still state that writing such papers is challenging. Where to find a letter of continued interest examples? What are the main features of such papers? How to write a letter of continued interest for law school? Are there any special things students need to pay attention to while writing a letter of continued interest for medical school? These questions, along with tons of other related, are usually raised when the time for college admission comes. Let's start with the definition of the term and define what differs this type of paper from others. What is a continued interest letter? Each future student desires to be enrolled in the college of his dreams as soon as possible. However, some universities place candidates on a wait list. In this case, a letter of continued interest may help students show that they are still eager to enter this exact college. Basically, if a student writes such a letter, it gives him a chance to remind himself. It is possible to mention some additional traits that will make you stand out among other competitors. In short, such a letter is an excellent option to point out your achievements. It will help you convince the committee that you are a perfect candidate. What are the main peculiarities of letters of continued interest? This type of paper is totally different from ordinary essays or other assignments students are used to writing. First of all, it isn't obligatory to send it to college and, moreover, not all universities accept it. Basically, it is an email that you send to the college in case your application has been deferred. The main peculiarities of this letter are: you send it after being placed on a wait list to remind about yourself and show your interest in being enrolled in the college. It is not long and usually doesn't exceed 1 page. It has a special structure. It includes some additional information about the applicant. What is the format of this paper? And what to describe on this 1 page in order to catch readers' attention? What is a letter of continued interest format? As mentioned above, it is usually a 1-page letter with some extra information about the future student. It can consist of such parts as brief introduction, main body where students mention their accomplishments, brief description of your personality traits that make you unique and help you stand out, conclusion where you state why you desire to be enrolled in this particular college. What should be included? Students always wonder what they should include in their letter of continued interest. They don't know how to place all the essential information on just 1 page. The majority of those who have successfully been enrolled share their experience. They note that students need to mention such things as clarification and some facts stating that you are the best candidate, your strengths and features that will help you contribute to the college you want to enter, your thoughts and feelings about being enrolled in the university. The main point is to describe why you should be considered as a perfect match for the college. Emphasize that you are interested in being a student of this exact university. And try to point out what you can bring to this place. What to avoid in this type of paper? Undoubtedly, students are nervous when they realize that their application has been placed on a wait list. Some of them make mistakes and write letters including some irrelevant information. It is not a good idea to show your disappointment and negative feelings in this paper. It won't convince the admission committee and surely won't help you show that your application is worth attention. What are the main outlines of this paper? As mentioned above, a good letter usually consists of an introduction, main body, and a brief conclusion. Let's have a closer look at each part and check what students mention there. Introduction. Remember that it is not an ordinary essay. Just mention that you are still interested in this college and are ready to wait for the answer patiently. Main body. Describe your personality and add some information about your achievements and goals. Mention something you haven't included in your admission essay. Note that the best idea is to provide some updates that can add more points to your application. Conclusion. Repeat how important it is for you to be enrolled in this university. Don't forget to express gratitude to the commission and mention that you appreciate that they spend some time reviewing your letter. Useful tips on how to write a remarkable letter of continued interest for college. It seems that it is clear what a letter of continued interest is and how it should be structured. But are there any tips that can help you create a remarkable one? How to stand out among other competitors and make sure that the admission committee will remember you. There are some pieces of advice that can be useful when you write this type of paper. 1. Check various examples of such letters. Undoubtedly, you shouldn't copy someone's ideas. However, if you find an outstanding example of a letter of continued interest, it may spark a thought. There are plenty of samples available online. Check them to realize what students usually write and how it helps them to be enrolled in the university of their dreams. In short, the majority of such successful letters show some new accomplishments. They also state concrete updates with examples. 2. Make sure your college accepts it. Make sure that the college you are applying to accepts such letters. Some universities avoid further communication, and it could be a mistake if you send a letter in this case. If your college accepts it, check the guides and rules they provide. Ensure that you follow them and format your paper correctly. 3. Pay attention to editing and proofreading. Is your paper ready, and you feel that it's time to send it? Try not to hurry. Don't miss a chance to double-check it. Some students avoid proofreading and editing. As a result, they get low-quality papers with plenty of grammar and punctuation errors. Such a letter surely won't bring your application any additional scores. Conclusion. All in all, such a paper isn't as scary as it seems. If your college accepts these letters, don't hesitate to send them. Make sure that you follow all the guidelines and create a remarkable one that will bring your application some extra scores. Provide some recent updates and mention some accomplishments you haven't stated in your college application essay. Don't forget to check your paper before submitting it. Ensure that it is logical and structured and doesn't contain any mistakes. Do you feel that the preparation of such a letter is quite challenging? Do you think that you can't cope with it? Don't worry, there is an option for you. The best idea is to ask for professional help. There are many writing companies that are glad to provide a wide range of services. Find the one that is legit and trustworthy. It should have many positive customer feedback. Don't want to lose your time while waiting for your letter to be prepared by top writers? Read some useful information in a blog. The prices are reasonable, and services often suggest a clear money-back policy. You can communicate with writers and make adjustments. Do you still want to create such a paper on your own but wonder if it is possible to ask for professional editing help? The majority of writing services are glad to offer proofreading and editing. It will help you be sure that your letter is logical and doesn't have any mistakes. Get an excellent letter of continued interest and enter the college of your dreams.